Hello to everyone who are watching and listening. You are tuned in to the Unofficial Controller podcast. I am Scott from Marathon Gaming, and I'm joined by the legendary RGT. And we've got a very special show today because we're very excited. We've been talking personally, off air, and in the Discord in the last 48 hours about the Nintendo Switch 2 rumours and leaks. I myself done my own little YouTube short in less than 24 hours ago because we thought the drop was going to be imminently. We prepped for the show, thought we'd have a nice show, talk about the leaks and rumours, and then while we was prepping for the show, all of a sudden, the trailer dropped announcing the Nintendo Switch 2. So we're going to be talking about that. How do you feel about that, RGT? You excited?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I watched a couple of big sort of Switch YouTube videos earlier, and they were saying, "Oh, we don't really feel that excited because there's been leaks, there's been this, there's been that." But actually, just seeing it and just a bit of confirmation, you know, it's coming anyway. But it's just nice seeing it,
It makes
seeing
it
what it looks
real,
like.
doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. So I've got my little RGT savings ready, and I'm looking to pre-order this soon as
Yeah.
that drops. Can't wait.
It's like, it reminds me of like, when you're at work and there's someone telling you about their new car they're going to get. They're going, oh, I'm going to get this. It's going to have this on it. Those rims. I'm going to get these upgrade leather seats. And you're like, yeah, yeah, whatever, John. Same old story.
Mm,
Then you come in work on a Monday morning. John comes skidding in the car park. And you're like, whoa, it
yeah,
is real. There is a new car. And that's what we
yeah.
got. A new shiny thing is going to be coming our way. So we're absolutely buzzing
Mm.
to talk about that. And that is what the main grips of this show is going to be. But before we get into that, we've obviously got to go into the most important thing at the top of everybody's mind is what have you been playing, RGT?
Little bit more Trine 5, not too much. I'm literally uh, I'm about two levels from the end of that, so I want to get that knocked out and done now. Still brilliant, still loving it. Big fan of the Trine games, and this one is they've really got it. So it looks really pretty. Some of the graphics are really good on that for a technically 2D side scroll and sort of platformer. They've got that really good, and there's more tricks to your characters. There's more special things you can do. The puzzles are getting more in depth. Where you have to work out, you know, your wizard come out of blocks. You can climb on that and then get the thief to swing on the rope to then change to the knight. You can break through. Brilliant little things like that. Really good little mind benders. So really been loving that. Been playing
Anyone new to this listing, RGT? What are you gaming that on? What platform?
PS5, playing on a PS5. Yeah, yeah.
And
That
how
was
many hours do you think you got left on it till you see the end?
well. I'm hoping not many because I mean I looked at how long to beat, and I think they said that this was about 25 hours. And when I looked, when I looked before recording this show, I've put
Yeah.
54 in it.
Oh, right, I've been the same. That how
And I
long
was
to
like,
beat?
how? Yeah,
Yeah.
how's someone done that in 25 hours? They must have had a guide and just smashed through that because I've been
Yeah.
working it all out and I hadn't looked at it, you know, the odd little one where I thought I'm really stuck, but I haven't actually looked at the what the outcome is. I've just looked and suddenly remembered there was a special move I had and I forgot about. Oh yes, I can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. So, but yeah, 54 hours I've put in that. But yeah, I love it.
It,
I love all the Trine games. I love the setting. I love the storybook mode. I love the fantasy mode. It's really good. It always sucks me in them games, and I could spend all day playing those. And
yeah.
Mrs. RGT like watching them with me because she's like, oh, so what have you got to do there? And then I'll try and explain. She's like, oh, maybe you could put a box there, then hover that with non-gravity, and then put a swing rope that, you know, and we all work it out. And yeah, it's good fun. Good game.
I'm glad you enjoy the puzzles. I struggle with them. I really do. I tried the Indiana Jones game recently. And anything that's got too much, even Tomb Raider sometimes gets a bit much for me. Resident Evil, anything
Yeah,
that's
well,
too puzzle based.
I think most games like that, those sort of Uncharted, Tomb Raider, Indiana
Yeah,
Jones one,
yeah,
they're much of a muchness when it comes to puzzles. I think what stands out with Trine is because you've got three characters that you interchange with your R1 button, you can flick through each
yeah.
character. and each of them has their own attributes, and that's what I liked about it. Because and also there's multiple ways to solve it. There's not a certain puzzle end to this. There might be a ledge that you can't reach, and then you've got each of them's got their own little attributes. So, like I said before, you could get the wizard who can summon up a metal cube. So then the metal cube you can then add non-gravity to, and that will float. And then you can change to the thief, who can then
So
put a
you could
rope
do
onto
it
the.
with different.
You
Yeah,
could do
sure.
it.
Oh,
It's just basically do it how you can do it, And then as you go through, you add more attributes to those characters, and you can do more things. So there's more and more ways to solve each one. It's really
oh, that's
good.
cool. Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought you meant you change. You have to find which character which can progress that section. I didn't know you could.
you can just
There's more
change
than
on the
one way to skin
fly.
a
Ding,
cat.
ding, ding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quality.
So you play the stories all three, but you're only one at a time, and you just flick through and then the knight's good at combat. So when you get there, you have a bit of combat and enemies, so you can take them on with the knight, and he'll have special moves like a shield push and things. And you could change him to a shield push, jump up and change to the thief. He's got a bow and arrow, and then shoot the enemies from above, and then jump down, change back to the wizard who could put a wall up. So it's things you can do.
Yeah,
It's just great fun. Um, Also, Sandland is a game. I got this for
Sandland.
Yeah, I got this for Christmas from Mrs. RGT slash Santa.
Is
Um,
that like a tower defense game or a tactical turn
no,
based? Oh, it's an
no,
RPG. Sorry, action
yeah,
RPG.
yeah, it's an action RPG. Very, very light sort of RPG elements, which is fine with me. I quite like those. It introduces people who are not really familiar with the genre. Um,
Yeah, sure.
but I first saw this with watching Happy Console Gamer. Oh, Johnny was first talking about this about 5, 6 months ago. Um, the art style's fantastic. It's that reminds me a bit of Nino
Looks like
Kuni's.
Yeah, it looks a bit like Dragon Ball Z. Some of the characters.
Yeah, that's like that. And you play
Yeah,
a little demon called Beelzebub. Basically, the story is um, the world in the future is run out of water. Basically, they had two separate forces had a fight over the water. Now is a big fight for water. Demons are around in the world who also need water, and they're at loggerheads of each other. But then this ex-army sergeant comes to this little demon and says, "Look, if we work together, I think there's a secret spring of water. We need to journey to it." And then that's just an open world. You then get purchase of a little tank, which is brilliant because you can take enemies on with your tank, with your shells, but you can also upgrade that tank in different areas. You can go down caves. It's that basic RPG elements, but it's a
yeah.
different set and different story, and that's really good fun. I'm playing that on a PS5. Runs smooth as silk, looks really good.
Well,
And I
Trine's on Nintendo Switch, but Sandland isn't on there, is it? It's a little disclaimer if anyone's tuned in for
No, I
Switch
don't think
gaming
so.
news.
I don't think so. I'm not even.
No.
I don't even know if Sandland's on Xbox. I'm not sure. I know. I think it's banned by Namco, but
Yeah, it's definitely not on Switch. I just looked it up, but
mm, it's
Trine
really
is.
good. I definitely recommend it, and especially if you're a bit like me, you've been wanting to get into JRPGs and RPGs, but
Yeah.
you want to be eased in gently, and something that's a bit more easy to learn and to pick up and to upgrade and to learn the story. This is perfect. It's great fun, really good game. Went very much under the radar.
Yeah.
I think I saw a couple of adverts for it when it released, but then it was basically Johnny on Happy Console Gamer, my favourite YouTuber, watching him, and he was raving about it. I thought, right, that went on the Christmas list. So yeah, been enjoying that. Um, Another one that's really got me sucked in
Oh,
on the
go on.
Switch.
Oh, go on.
Rush Rally
Perfect.
Origins.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did download that. I think a couple of years back. So
Mm,
I remember hearing about it um, from some guys that were in a Nintendo Switch previously.
yeah,
Is that the top-down rally game? No, it's not, is it?
it's top
Is it
down.
top-down, like almost a
You
little bit
you can have
retro-y?
isometric or you can have top down. Um,
I must have this.
and I believe it is made by the guy who was one of the original developers of the Colin McRae games back in the day.
Well,
So
that's all you need to know. That's credit on its own.
I
That is
mean,
enough.
I've played it handheld. I've played it on the big TV. Looks really good actually. Sounds really good. I've had a little glitch with the sound sometimes if you crash, it then cuts the sound out for like a millisecond and comes back. But minor gripe. Actual gameplay. I mean, I got this because I think it was one of your Discord users on your Discord, Scott, had said that was on
Yeah,
off.
yeah, I'd mention it.
Yeah, he'd mentioned it was on offer, and I had it in my wish list. So Christmas time, I went across, and it had been dropped from I think it was $12 to like $3.50. So I was like, well, I'm going to download it for that.
Very good. Yeah, I was going to say, I was just looking to see if it's got a physical. Looks to be out of stock, and it did, I think, at some point.
I
Whether
think
it
they had
was
a I
UK
think they had
PAL,
a rush rally sort
Rush
of.
Rally, might not be the Origins
They
one.
had,
Yeah.
they had like a 3 pack of the first 3 games, I think, as a physical for the Switch.
Oh, okay.
But that's brilliant. You can tell us made by rally fans. They haven't got the licenses, so I started off with a Mark II Ford Escort, as I'm a big Ford fan. But that was called the Fandu Companion rather than the
I was
Ford
wondering what he was
Escort.
going to say. I thought he was going to say a full best score. I don't know, a
Yeah,
Tour
that was
Technor.
a
So
Fandu.
what's he going to say?
So rather than an Escort, it was a companion. And
Okay,
obviously,
that's a good shout. Yeah,
all the
yeah,
rally drivers, they've messed their names about a little bit, but you know who they are. So rather than Sebastian Loeb, you've got Sebastian Lube, and you've got
Well,
rather than Colin McRae, you've got Colin McRae.
Lube's about right. I think if me and George was trying to come up with the names instead of a Ford Escort, we probably would have called it a Ford Prostitute just to go along
Exactly.
with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
done
Yeah.
well with that one.
But yeah, it's great gameplay, control, and everything is fantastic in this game.
Yeah,
It reminds me a bit of that Mantis Burn Racing, where you can
I didn't
really
play that.
you could. That's a great game as well.
Yeah.
That's yeah, and you can get in that flow once you get your handbrake and you flow through the corners, and that's telling you how you're doing in each little stage of the rally. It's brilliant fun, and I've gone through. You can do rally, you can do rally cross, time trials. It's quite an in-depth game, really, for how much it is. I've done and you start off in like you can upgrade your car. So your first 6 upgrades will be a D class. If you go over 6, then you're a C class. You can go up to 12 for that, and then so
Yeah.
on. And then a B class is 18, and then 24 for. So I've done all the Ds, all the rallies in D class. I've done all the rallies in C class, all the rallies in B class, and I've got 2 left on A, and I've done all the rallies on it. So been absolutely loving that. But that's for the money. I mean,
Yeah.
£3.49. I've put 20 hours in it.
Oh, mate, what a
Superb.
bargain. Everyone loves a good racing game.
Oh, brilliant. Next one is I had pre-ordered, nearly forgot about it till it turned up on my Evercade. I had the Life on Mars / Metal Dragoon double pack came through. So I've just started Life on Mars on the Evercade. For all you, if have you played Super Metroid?
Yes.
Oh, did you
Yeah.
like Super Metroid?
Be honest with you, no, and it's going to feature later on because apparently there's been rumored, well,
You didn't like Super
Metroid
Metroid?
Prime. No, so I'm thinking of Metroid Prime.
Yeah,
I
did you
didn't
like
play Super Metroid on the
Super?
SNES. No, I didn't play.
Oh, Super Metroid is for me the greatest game on the SNES. The atmosphere, for a 16-bit game to give you
Mm.
that atmosphere of being alone on a planet and the sound effects really good. This
Yeah.
is Life on Mars is basically a love letter to Super Metroid. It's originally came out as a new game. I think both these games were a new game released for the Mega Drive about 18 months ago, and then Evercade have now got the license to port them over to their system. But yeah, the start with the ship and the rain coming down and you land, and it's all like Metroid to start with. But
Have you got the
very
big box, the Super Metroid? I've got a lot of friends that love. I'm not.
yes.
It's not my favourite franchise. I love the yeah, the box art's really really cool. I'm quite lucky. I don't need to track it. I thought he was reaching for it then. I thought it was within arm's reach, all ready to go.
No, well, it normally is when
I,
I'm in the game shed, but obviously
yeah,
that's in being built in a minute. But yes, I have got the big
I like
box.
Metroid on the Game Boy, but I don't like backtracking too much. The whole
Yeah,
Metroidvania thing. I don't like. I struggle to find where I've gone to and where I've been. Like even that new Mickey
and
Mouse game they brought out on the Switch. I absolutely loved it, but I got to a point after so many hours where you get an ability and you realise I can jump up there now. You got to go all the way back, and I'm like, God damn it,
yeah,
trenching through the level.
I think originally in a lot of these games, especially back in the 16-bit era, it was a way of giving a bit of longevity to the game.
Oh sure, because
It was a
most
way of
games you could
hanging
do
the
in
game
one
out of them.
sitting, couldn't you?
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, this Life on Mars is so I've only played about an hour so far. Really enjoying it as usual. Brilliant port on the Evercade. You know, runs as smooth as silk. Love playing it with that controller because that gives you that retro feel with that controller. I haven't played Metal Dragoon yet, but definitely we'll get onto that once I've played Life on Mars. But I mainly pre-ordered that for Life on Mars, which the order got cancelled. I had to reorder, but anyway, that's for another show. But and when you think this was £18, so two good new Mega Drive games on the Evercade in a double pack, and obviously you get the Evercade goodies with that. So that's your
And that was
booklet.
on the Mega Drive originally, wasn't it? Mega Drive and Genesis.
Yeah, it was a new game for the Mega Drive, if you know what I mean, a
Right.
later release.
Yeah, it almost looks a bit like RoboCop, the way he's sort of walking around and
Very
shooting.
much so, yeah.
That, yeah,
But sound effects and feel of the game is very very Metroid sort of based.
yeah, that eerie, yeah.
And then you've got the plus points of a lot of people find these older games brutal the way they play, which they can be, but you're on an Evercade, so you've got saves wherever you want to save. So quick saves, long saves, you can save wherever you want, so that makes it a bit easier. But yeah, definitely if you've got an Evercade, definitely recommend it. Don't know how it plays on a handheld because I haven't got the handheld. I've only got the Versus R from a TV, but yeah, really enjoying that. Last two here, I've been playing. There's another one I got for Christmas, the Crew Motorfest.
Oh, yeah. What a
PS,
title.
yeah, PS5 again. Another, like I say, it was a Christmas present. I was a big fan of the original Crew when it came out. Me and three mates literally had our Crew. We rolled around on there. 250 hours we put in that game. Absolutely loved the Crew. That was a great.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you play the original Crew, Scott?
I didn't get. I've played it later. I didn't play it originally when it came out and it's all glory. So it's one of those games that people, when they bump into it, the car boots out, everyone goes a bit mad for it. I hear a lot from like LAN parties and stuff back in the day. Getting all your mates around and
Yeah, I had
going
that.
online together, rolling around. It's one of those ones with retro gamers. It's like the racing game of a certain age, if
Mm,
you know what I mean. Like at sort
mm,
of PlayStation 2 sort of era, like anyone, naughty sort of gamer and tens. But yeah, real popular game. You never hear anyone say anything bad about it. Everyone's like, oh, the Crew. And then, yeah,
mm,
I'm a little bit envious in a way that I don't have that nostalgia of it. I respect it because everyone goes on about it and I've played it briefly, but I didn't get stuck into it. I haven't done any hours in it like, like yourself have, or
mm,
sat there going through the races in career mode or tagging along with someone online. But kind of wish I did. But yeah, I stuck more to your Need for Speeds and stuff like that, really, and
yeah,
Gran Turismo's before that.
I'd sort of. This was on PS4, and I'd pre-ordered it because I'd heard about it, done a bit of research on it, and I thought, oh well, this is going to be good if you can roll around with four of you and do the story missions as a crew together. I thought this could be good.
Oh, it's
Got
well cool concept, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ubisoft done well with that, but then Crew 2 came out and they sort of drifted away from that concept and went more um, where you can change into boats and planes and different things and do different races. I platinumed Crew 2, put the hours in. I did enjoy that. I even got up on one of the races. I was very high up on the leaderboard for times. I think I even got in the top 10 at one point. But so I loved
Oh,
that.
sorry, it's a 360. It's 360 era. I thought for some reason it was the generation before that. So it'd be like
Uh,
360 PS3. I thought it
yeah,
was PS2 for some
I
reason.
played PS4. We played on it, released on PS4 2015, I think it came out.
Yeah, so the original would have been 360 then. And you can pick it up quite cheap now, only £2 on CX.
Mm. But if you go on the stores, like the problem is if you want to play the Crew on the PS4 and that the servers are down and the game's taken off. That's not on there now, so I don't think you'd even be able to play because obviously it's a live service game in a way. So I don't think you'd be able to play it. But yeah, great
Yeah,
game. So when this Crew Motorfest come out, I was a bit they drifted away from that original Crew. I wasn't quite sure. But anyway, Mrs. RGT got it for me for Christmas. I've been enjoying it. Like it's recommended to me as well from Digital Mongery from the Discord. He said it was like a Forza for PlayStation, um,
yeah.
or Forza Horizon, I should say. Which I get that from him. That is that style. Graphically, very good. Look, there's these races where when you're on the like because this is based in Hawaii, but you'll get like the Japanese races where in Japanese cars or drift cars, and that's all neons and synth wave and looks phenomenal. I tell you what, they have done very well, and I know we always say Ubisoft games are 7 out of 10 mid, but what they do well with this is the DualSense. They always really connect well with the DualSense. They'll add features on. Some devs don't, but they've really took it on board, Ubisoft, and the controls on the DualSense are phenomenal. They are brilliant. You get your
Because the
adaptive
PS5's
triggers.
yeah, it's got the triggers for it. I
You've
was
got
going to
adaptive
say a
triggers, but
racing
then
game's
also you've
perfect
got
for the
your
PS5.
yeah, and you've got your speaker in the controller.
Yeah,
So
you
all
feel
your
that
pops and
feedback.
bangs and your screeching doesn't come through the telly; it comes through the controller.
Yeah,
So
it's a
as you're
bit like it's the
very
closest thing
good,
to a like when if you go on a friend's house and he's got one of those racing sims and obviously it's got the motor and all that in the wheels, you feel the feedback.
mm,
It's a little bit. It's better than the Xbox version, basically, isn't it? Because of
yeah,
that DualSense
yeah,
controller.
yeah.
Did
It
you play
feels
online with the Monkery, Digital Monkery, or
haven't
was
done
you
yet.
solo?
No, I've put about 7 hours in. The only thing I found weird, one thing is before I get to the weirdness, the one thing that is good that said, "Do you want to bring over your cars from the other crew games?" I was like, "Yeah." So I said yes. 38 cars that brought over for me. And I thought, oh, I forgot I had that. I had this Ford truck. I had this
Oh,
Cosworth.
quality.
So it brought, which is good. But then when you're playing the sort of light story mode where you go around doing the races, you have to use the cars they give you. You can't use your own cars. And I think, well, what's
What's
the
the point? Just for
yeah?
online or
I
exhibitions?
I think it's more that once you've completed that story mode, it opens it up and you could do weekly challenges and weekly with your cars. So you can then put them against other people's. But I'll tell you what was good when you start the game, you come into a show and they have a theme for the show each week. So it's just changed over this week. I think it was yesterday, as of recording, to McLaren. So if you've got a McLaren, you've done it up, you can add your car to the show, and that's everyone's cars with your little online tag next to them, and you can show your car in the show for the week and see what you've
That's
done. And
cool.
yeah,
That's
it's a
nice little
little
thing to do, isn't
touch.
it?
But yeah, I mean, it's different to what I thought. But I think I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'll be honest with you though, it is a 7 out of 10 game. It's a 7 out of 10, but it's good. You know, it's good. It's worth. I mean, if you're downloading it and you're paying digital price £60, I'm not sure it's a £60 game. I'd wait a few months till you can get Motorfest for £25. You might even be able to now, and then I think you're all in for 15, 20 hours. You know, good racing game, good fun. Customize your car.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's quite good. And finally, as of our challenge this month, I've had 2 or 3 goes on Fall
Oh yeah.
Guys.
I'm
Um,
I'm a little bit annoyed at how well you've done. I had about
Second attempt.
four, mate. I had four goes in a row at the weekend, and then I think I've done sort of every other night this week. Had one game or two games in a row, and I've not even reached the final round. So I
I
don't know how you've managed to jam your way through that.
The first one I went because I hadn't played it when it first came out. I played it quite a bit. Me and my friends used to play it. It's been good fun. We was taking turns doing it, see if we get through. And I think I got 4 or 5 crowns first time round after a few weeks of playing. And then I haven't touched it. And then when it became the challenge, I thought not many are doing this challenge this month. If you want to know what the challenges are, basically Digital Monkery, one of our community guys on the Discord, he does a monthly challenge. It could be anything from retro to modern, from Sonic to racing games, and he will set you a target. And then you just list your scores in the section on the Discord. And at the end of the month, if you're a winner, you get a custom sticker. Sometimes you even get a little extra bonus from Scotty there with one of his special mugs. So there's brilliant, prizes, and it's good fun and the camaraderie and everyone chatting away about the game. But anyway, this month is Fall Guys. You have to get as many crowns as you can by the end of the month. No one had got a crown, so I had to go the other day. Went out first round on my first go, and I thought, yeah, my reflexes are gone. Went on the second game,
Yeah.
but started straight again. Went ding 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 all the way through, and I won. And I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I've won. It was just it's just more the luck. So
I,
I've
I
got one
can't
on the
believe
bag.
it's a free game. I can't believe
Yeah,
it's amazing. You
yeah,
don't need to. I've played. So I looked up there. I've had it for ages. I've done like 20 hours on it. So
yeah,
I've been playing it like it's one of those ones been around. That everyone's sort of like, yeah, let's jump on that and for community nights, that sort of thing. So I'm quite surprised it's so it's free. It's so cheap. It's free. But I'm
yeah.
hoping we're gonna start off a proper leaderboard tomorrow because I've got a friend, fellow YouTuber, Retro Ed UK, big fan of the show as well.
Oh yeah, I
So
watch
shout
his
out to
channel,
him.
Retro Ed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm sure he'll be listening because he's a big fan. And he's coming over to mine tomorrow, and I've done a little itinerary of what games we're going to play, and I have stuck in Among Us because I thought we might as well do solo, taking turns, few beers, and try at least get a crown and both get on the leaderboard. And do you know what? Because if you do get consistent and you build up the championships, we had a big winner last year. Ginge cleared up, and
Mm.
there's always a little prize. We always throw a little something. But Ginge, because he was the champion of the year, he got himself a copy of Tekken on the PS5, and we sent him a little trophy. So that was a nice little thank you for Ginge for being such a big player. But we can't have him winning again. We can't have him being back to back champion. Surely
That
not.
boy's
He
a
won so
legend,
many
isn't he?
months.
He's
Yeah,
so
he was
good.
so
But
far ahead.
yeah, but yeah, if you're ever interested, jump on our Discord. Come and challenge accepted. Say hi. If you need a refresh because I scrolled up a bit, just ask on there. Just ask one of us. What's the challenge this month? We'll get Digital Monkey to repost it. While you go, have a bit of fun, and it's good to have that little competitive edge. Gets you into
Oh, it
games
makes
you
it
maybe
so
wouldn't have
much more
played.
fun.
Yeah, and it gives
It
you a
reminds me
target.
of yeah, it reminds me of like the reason why I love arcade games and retro gaming in general. You know, where there's a purpose. You want your
Mm.
high score, you want your name on the board. You're not
What
just
we used
playing
to
at your own.
say
You've got
is
nothing to show for it.
Yeah, what we used to say is you never get bored when there's a high score. If you take the high scores off, there's no
100%.
reason to go back and play it, is there? So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing. So, what about you, Scott? What have you been playing?
Well, I probably should have gone first because in comparison, I was about to say 3 games ago, RGT, you have done a hell of a lot of gaming
I didn't think I
in the
had as
past
well.
week
I
since
didn't
we
think
last
I had.
chatted. Obviously, to be fair, at the Ponzi's, we didn't actually go through what a great show. Anyone listening, if you haven't listened to the previous episode, the Ponzi's was
Oh,
amazing.
it's a
So
brilliant
go
show.
and check
Yeah.
that out. We went through our each of us, myself, Seb, Bobby, RGT, and George. We went through our top 10 games, kept them to ourselves, sent the list over to Seb, and he worked his magic, and then we battled it out and made a true UCP top 10 games of 2024 list. It's really good to check that episode out. But yeah, we didn't speak about the games we've been playing, so I guess that might be why there's slightly more. But I did no gaming over Christmas because I was very busy. Last game I played was Christmas Eve. So even in the new year, I only started gaming, I think, at the start of this week. So there's only 2 games I could probably mention. I've tried a few, but the only ones that sort of stuck with me, the last game I was playing before Christmas, and it was the first game I wanted to go back, is a game called Dead or School, which I was playing on Nintendo Switch. I'm not sure if
Mm.
it is on other consoles. It's sort of a retro looking, side scrolling Metroidvania platformer, but Cool, it's got every category. It's a RPG slasher, if you know what I mean.
Oh
So you
wow.
you got different, very fast paced, lots of enemies. You level up, you grind. You got to get pass keys to progress. Basically, the story is you're underground, and it's like a fallout in the whatever year future. People lived underground for so many years. There was a big problem, and everyone at the top's basically a junkie, and they all died and revolt into weird things. A bit like a modern day crackhead, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're trying to work your way up the levels, a bit like Hades, I guess. You're trying to work your way up to the surface.
Is it like
Um,
roguelike? Is it?
it's not a roguelike, it is an RPG slasher.
Oh,
It is an
okay.
RPG game, but it looks like a side-scrolling platformer. But yeah, you have a katana, you've got different rocket launchers, weapons. You can upgrade them. You can get different perks and add on. It's actually a really solid game. If you looked at the cover art, you think, oh, it's one of those sort of anime aiming at a certain audience.
Mm.
Girl on the front, that sort of thing. But it's actually a really good fun game. But I fell a couple hurdles in. I was absolutely loving it, really enjoyable. But after like the first few hours, it got a bit tough. I realised I've got to grind to get further, and I've got another stack of games I wanted to play. So I moved on. So I did try a few other games. Finding Teddy on the Switch. You might be Finding Teddy 2, which was a remake of the Wii U game, which is quite expensive on the Wii U. And then I was looking around on Game Pass. So I tried a bit of Indiana Jones, but only briefly. I tried a few different games, Peggle, and then I went and downloaded a few games on the Switch. So I went back to the Switch. Downloaded Peglin, Pizza Tower, played both of those briefly, no more than half an hour or so. There's a few games in your eShop wish
Mm,
list that you want to check out. So I was doing that, but the main one that I've been stuck into all this week, so the only one worth talking about, is I've been playing. If you might have seen this in the Discord, big up Bada Binkster because I shared a screenshot. He knew straight away. I've been playing the Mafia, which is a definitive edition, which I believe was on a PS4, which I think is a
hmm.
remake of the first Mafia game. And to be honest with you, RGT, a bit ashamed to say, don't think I've played a Mafia game. So I don't think I played any of the
Good
trilogy from like the
games.
PS3
Good friend of the
eras.
show.
Yeah,
Mike Graves done those, so he was a developer on those. So yeah, Retro Gamer Boy. If you haven't heard of him on YouTube, check him
yeah,
out.
I knew he'd done the Getaway. I didn't know how heavily involved he was with
Mm,
Mafia. That's made me like it even more. But yeah, a big fan of Mike.
mm,
Um, and obviously he's been a guest on the show a couple of times, hasn't he?
mm. Yeah,
Um,
fantastic. Yeah,
yeah, so really, really enjoying it. I got it on sort of like an easy story. I just want to see the story out. I really want to complete it, but it's something. As soon as I'm not sort of free roaming. I guess originally you could free roam a bit like GTA,
yeah.
or LA Noir. It feels very much like LA Noir. Noir is that how you say it? Noir. Feels very
Noir.
much
Yeah,
like that. It's obviously that time period of, I don't know, 1920, I guess, or something like that. But yeah, I just love
they
that time
capture the
period.
scene
Really
well,
does.
don't they? With the cars and the
It's
radio and the music.
yeah,
It's good.
it's
You
really
feel like
cool.
you're in that era.
If you're like me and you have been living under a rock, basically the first story is you're basically a cab driver, and it's basically a fictional Chicago because it says it's a fictional
Yeah.
place and it's in Illinois, which should be Chicago. It's that sort of area of the gangsters and mobsters there. There's a lot of Italians like there was in New York, and there's two gangs operating only in certain parts of this town or city, and you're a cab driver. You're waiting for a fare, smoking on a cigarette, and then you get caught up in there's a bit of crossfire.
Mm,
So mobsters run around the corner, they jump in your taxi, tell you to drive. Next thing you know, you're driving them around. They sort of realise you've got them out of trouble, but they don't want you to tell anyone, so they go and speak to the Don, give you a bit of money, and then they say, look, if you want any more help, come back there and we can look after you. And he's got a few money problems, so he goes back there. Next thing you know, you'd slowly turn
yeah.
into a gangster. It's really cool what happens because you realise you're
Yeah.
no one at the beginning, and all
That's
of a sudden
brilliant.
now I'm like top boy. So yeah, it's really really good. I've got
So what
quite
are you playing this
yeah
on,
really.
Scott?
I'm playing it on the Switch. No, I'm not
Oh.
really.
I
I'm not. I'm not.
thought
I'm playing this on the Xbox Series
yeah.
X, so it's on Game Pass.
Mm.
So yeah, if you've got Game Pass, do check that out because yeah, really really enjoying it. It looks absolutely beautiful.
It's a good
But
game. You're
those
making
are
me want to play it
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Listening to that.
I think
I love
I
that
want to
game.
play that, and then I'm kind of curious of the others if they've been remade. Um, I guess they have because I think Bada Binkster
They done a
shared the
trilogy. They done a Mafia
trilogy.
trilogy, yeah.
Yeah, so
But
but
the
they're not Game
only
Pass. But I might have to look at that.
I think the only thing is if you get the trilogy on the PS5, because the third game was quite new to the or late in the life cycle of the PS4. Um, if you try and play the third one on the PS5, it can be a bit glitchy. It's one of them that doesn't quite run that well on the PS5. So bear in mind. But the first two are good. Yeah, first two are brilliant. The third game's a good game, but it's just it doesn't. Yeah, it's get that sort of graphic glitch every now and then, which I had a similar thing with the Warriors when I downloaded that off the store. Um,
Oh, I love the Warriors on the
yeah,
PS2. I love
I
that.
think I've spoken about this on the show before, but I was a bit naughty. I downloaded the Warriors 11.99 whatever because I loved it on PS2. I love it on
Yeah,
PS5.
same.
Played the PS2 version. Oh, it's just graphically glitchy. So I googled it. Oh yeah, it doesn't run on the PS5. I was like, why have you let me spend 11.99 on
Yeah,
that when it at least put a warning out? There's nothing to say it doesn't run on the PS5, but you let me download it on there. I thought, oh, that's a bit cheap. But yeah, so Mafia 3 is a bit like that. But yeah, I think they're on the premium service for a while. I don't know if they still are, but yeah, definitely play those Mafia games. But
oh, I'll
and if
check out the PlayStation Premium. Yeah, because I went straight on Game Pass because I hadn't been on there for so long. I thought, well, I might as well have a look before I, cancel the old membership.
mm,
And there's always something on there that sort of keeps you going, doesn't there? Dangles a
yeah,
carrot. And yeah, I scrolled through and I was like, oh, I want to play this. I want to play that. And that's what I did. Sort of that one got me. But yeah, I played sort of an hour, two or three missions. Last one I did last night was I shot up a funeral. I won't say any more than that in case it's a spoiler. And yeah, I threatened a priest, so that was very yeah, from pasta to pasta. So yeah,
yeah,
that was Yeah, real good game, really, really solid. But I'm sure everyone has heard of it, unless you've been like me, like Harry Potter under the stair cupboard. Finally got around to play it, but that's the thing. There's so many great games. It is hard
Mm,
to get time to play them all. But that
yeah.
is pretty much what I've been playing. That's what you've been playing. But what I want to be playing is a Nintendo Switch 2, and I'm
Mm.
sure everybody, by the time this airs, would have seen the trailer. So we've got a little sneaky trailer today of about 2 minutes. There has been everyone in the cat's mother sharing their leaks, rumours, and stuff. I guess it all started without talking about what we know and what we think we assume. I think RGT, what sort of made me realise it's definitely happening is, did you see the tweet from Walmart that sort of it shared a
Mm,
poster from the original Nintendo Switch release of Mario, and I
yeah,
was like, "That's a big company. That's a naughty. They know
yeah,
something." And then
yeah.
I saw some guys doing some research, looking at what chips could be in there, like micro
Yeah.
SD cards, and they realised there was some big manufacturers in Australia already selling them online as a Switch 2, and there were some accessories already sold. And it's like, oh, this is coming, man. This is
I mean, with
coming.
it, with the internet, with the little internet sleuths that are on there, you can try and hide things, but they will dig them out and find them.
No,
Do you know what I mean? And
listen, they,
also, I think Nintendo and that normally they're pretty strict with their stuff, but they'll let that run. That's building hype. They like the hype to be built, don't they? And they're like, "Yeah, you
yeah.
keep trying to find stuff. You keep trying to find it. We know you want it." So I'll tell you what
Look, if
amazed me as well.
anyone's,
They
yeah.
you seen their first year's forecast.
No, what is in projection in finance or what the games are going to
They're
be?
projecting in sales. They're Nintendo are expecting to sell 20 million units in the first year.
Well, I'm just hoping
I'm
they
like,
have.
wow, wow,
Look, the
20
biggest
million
rumor
in the
was,
first year.
yeah, the biggest rumor, which I think we talked about when we thought the Switch 2 was coming out, but we knew there was no rush because the Switch is doing so well. We talked about it in previous shows. We was hoping, well, I was anyway, that they had everything settled and they're mass producing it, because what I'm really worried about is if we have the same thing with the scalpers with the PS5 and Series X. I mean, it didn't affect me because I actually waited a few years until it was halfway through its life. But
Yeah,
if
that's
I
what I was
can't get
worrying
that, if
about.
I can't get that at launch, mate, I'm going to be fuming.
Yeah,
I
same here,
really am.
same here. I mean, my choice was I've got my pennies put aside, and that was either going to be, well, up until I found the price out, it was going to be a PS5 Pro or Switch 2. Once I found out
Yeah.
that the PS5 Pro was going to be absolutely ridiculous price, I'm like, right, I'm all in on the Switch 2 now. That money's sitting there waiting. We're going to pre-order. I want to pre-order. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. But what did
Are
you?
we?
Sorry,
God,
Karen.
I'd say. I was going to say, are we right to assume? Um, we sorry we obviously other than that trailer, it said at the end, didn't it? We've got a direct on April the 2nd. I
Yes.
think I don't. Obviously, that's for us. I don't know if it's different for America or Asia. I'm assuming, obviously, a
Mm.
worldwide show. I'm assuming. Let us know, guys. Hop in the Discord if you're from any other continent. If it did say something different, but I believe that was sort of.
I
Um,
think they normally do it. They normally do the same direct, but obviously in a different time scale, and so it's normally it'll be like lunchtime in America, evening here, and then late evening somewhere else, sort of thing, and they'll run it at the same time. Especially with this, I think they'll just go, there'll probably be millions of people watching it as well, live as well, I expect, on YouTube.
yeah. So, shall we dive into what did you think? What did you think was revealed as certain RGT from the trailer? So I think we've all sort of got our own assumptions of what you could see. There's a few like there wasn't too much like we said before we went on air. It didn't say it didn't say it's this size screen,
Yeah,
it's this size that. It just showed images. It was
yeah,
all moving parts. So it was kind of like what can you see within this trailer? It's one of those ones that you need to watch it back 5 times in a row, and each time you watch it, you go, it might mean this.
yeah.
It could be that.
That's that
So are
Nintendo
we?
little tease again, isn't it? They won't
Yeah, are
tell
we
you,
right
but
to
they'll tell.
assume? Yeah, are we right to assume there's it's going to be no OLED? Is that what we think? I mean, was it crystal
Um,
clear that it's going to
I
be
I heard it was going to be an LCD, but I was
same?
hoping I was hoping it was going to be OLED because I love the OLED. I think that's the screen on the OLED is phenomenal. I mean, I know people say the Switch is underpowered and blah 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 blah, but
Yeah.
I went from a Switch Lite. I never had the OG Switch. I went from a Switch Lite to an OLED, and the screen's phenomenal. It really is. The colours pop, and I was hoping for that. Maybe they've gone for a longevity of battery, so they've gone with LCD. Don't know, but
I
I
think it's just to sell one halfway through its life. I think that's all it is, to
I
shift some more
think you're bang
units.
on. We'll get an OLED Switch 2 after
Because
4 years or 3 years.
if there comes out of a Steam Deck 2 or a PlayStation Portable Plus, if anyone tries to compete in a few years down the line, they'll just bring out the OLED. And I feel like that's what they've done previously. You had the Steam Deck and all these emulators, and they
Mm,
went because everyone was using the Switch as a foundation, then looking at its flaws and making it better, and then they went
mm,
bang, have an OLED with
yeah,
more battery life. So
yeah,
I reckon they'll just do that, and people
yeah.
will still buy it.
I think you're right. I think the LCD screen. We obviously saw us now larger screen, so it's an 8-inch screen, I believe.
Yeah,
Um,
it's over 8 point something. So the
mm,
Switch originally was, I think, 6.2, the
yeah,
OLED 7, and I think this might be like an 8.3 or 8.4.
mm,
So it's significantly bigger,
yeah,
including because it showed on the trailer two of the Switches, the current, and it showed it transform into
mm,
the Switch 2. Um, it showed even the Joy Cons is bigger.
yeah. And I think the reason they've done that is because with the OG Switch, it had a bezel round. So to make the OLED, all they done was remove the bezel to make the screen bigger. So you're still basically the same size outside of the screen. Whereas in this, to go 8-inch, obviously the Joy Cons aren't going to fit. But by also doing that, Nintendo style, you're going to have to buy the new Joy Cons. If you've got a collection of Joy Cons now for your old Switch, they aren't going to fit on that. So you're going to need the
Do you
new
know
Joy
what?
Cons.
I might actually, I'm glad you said that. I might have to make a note, RGT, because I was talking to someone recently actually on YouTube, and they said about how much controllers are worth at CEX, and they said stop sitting on your controllers, trade them in. And like I've got so many PS4, Xbox One, like, I've got so many Xbox controllers, even Wii controllers, Wii remotes. I've got so many nunchucks, and I've got one or two pro control. Well, I've got an official pro controller for the Switch, which I always use, and I've
Mm-hmm.
got like an unofficial one from Audi, like a Pokemon
Yeah,
one or
same
something
here.
like that.
Same here. That's what I've got.
Um, Now I have so many different Joy Cons because every time they brought out a new color at the start, I kept buying them, but then they kept bringing more out. So I've got like I've got the the original ones that come with the Switch, which was I've got the Pokemon one, so it's the Eevee, the Gold, and the Yellow, and the Pikachu. But then I've
Mm-hmm.
got different ones, so I might as well be smart and trade those in now because I'm not going to need more than one or two spare controllers, am I? Let's be honest.
No,
Be
because
interesting, though. Yeah,
and that leads us on to the new connection system for these Joy Cons, which is you can see a little plug-in, almost like cart-like plug-in, but also magnetic. So they've
yeah.
got a
So it's
rail now,
magnet.
which fits inside the screen, which links them in. Which has me worried a little bit that they're going to be strong enough. I mean, they're going to have to be quite strong magnets to hold them on there, which is why they went with the rails before. But I'm sure they've tested that for multiple hours to see how they hold. And
I would have thought the directive from that would have been that the amount of recalls. They didn't do it in the UK originally, but I know they did it in America and other parts of the world. But they had to recall and honour it. I don't know if one of the sort of watchdogs sort of got them in trouble, but there was a lot of. I didn't have it. I haven't had one joystick drift, but a lot of people did, and then you could
I
send them back to
haven't
Nintendo.
touched
Yeah,
wood,
I haven't
but
either touched wood. Both of us haven't. So you would. I heard it's quite common. So you have joystick drift. You'd send it back. They'd fix it and send it out. So that's obviously a lot of money. They've had to employ people to fix these postage. So they've probably gone. Do you know what? That hasn't worked. So it might be to avoid that.
well, I wonder as
That
well.
might be.
From if you notice on the little direct we saw, the brief little show of it. If you look at the bottom of the analog stick, it looks slightly different. It looks more curved now, and I'm wondering, do you think they've gone with Hall effect sticks to knock that drift straight out of the water, so they'll never have drift? I wonder if they've gone with Hall effect sticks, which could be a master stroke if they have, because drift is gone. Then you can't get drift on Hall effect. So
I think that's what they. I think that's the directive. I think that's
they
where it's
look
come
slightly
from.
different, but
The
also with
nunchucks completely changed, which is brilliant, really, because that's probably the only thing you could slag off about the system, other than obviously wanting it more powerful and
mm,
all the other bits. The actual Joy Cons themselves, you want them a bit bigger,
definitely,
because even if you're holding one of them, you have to put it in a holder. You have to put it in a little, two
yeah.
together or one, a little third party holder. So if you're playing Mario Party around a family 4 player, it's an absolute nightmare
Yeah.
if you're not a child. So yeah, I think they've
But
made it
also
bigger.
with
Like
they had a on the I think it was on the right Joy-Con as you look at it, or right-handed Joy-Con, they had an extra button on the bottom. Now they haven't
yes.
labelled that button. So what that button will be, I don't know. That's going to be interesting. Um,
Yeah, I think we thought it might be like someone saw a C, thought it could mean to cast, so to cast your image straight to the TV, a bit like a Wii U sort of thing. You know, where you see what's down there, rather than like a quick dock almost. So rather than docking
mm,
it, cast it to their possibility. I thought it could be more towards because a lot of people moan that the Switch. Obviously, I know they think Nintendo, you've got to be safe, protect children. Rightly so, is your first point of interest. But to allow full sort of online services, it might be to stream directly
I wondered streaming.
because obviously on PS5 and Xbox Series X, you can just log in straight with Twitch and these other apps. You can
Yeah.
stream directly. So it might be to share video,
Mm,
to stream directly, or it might be to do with, playing online with friends. And
mm,
hopefully we'll be able to not just play online with friends, but with anyone. So hopefully they've sorted out the actual interface. Would be good to find out the online servers, whether it's more open. Because a lot of
mm.
games you have to download this Nintendo Switch app. So no one does it, let's be honest. We all make a WhatsApp call or go on Discord to talk to each other, but
Yeah, that
you
needs
can't jump in
refining.
random
That's
lobbies, can you?
no, that's old school now. That needs sorting, which hopefully they
Yeah,
have
it's old
done.
hat.
Um, and also, still on with the Joy Cons. Did they have rear buttons? Was it like a trigger on the back? Did they have?
Yes, yeah. So they've changed that position, um, and I think so. I'm sure we're going to get to this, so I might as well say it now. I know I mentioned it in a video I put out yesterday. Is we believe it's obviously you could see from the trailer, you could see them
Yeah,
moving along the Joy-Con in a
yeah.
different position. So, and we've got
They made
similar.
it look like a little mouse, didn't they?
They made it like a mouse, and I wish Seb was here because is it Civilization 7? I think the last one was 6. I had
Yeah.
it on the Switch. Sid Meier's Civilization. It looks like they're gonna make it like a mouse for point and click strategic games, is what I thought as well.
I'll
And there
tell you
was
what
rumors
else
of
as well.
that.
What made me think? What else is coming to this system?
Oh, go on, what? You got me here.
Call of Duty. How do
Oh,
people like to play Call of Duty?
so to allow a pro gamer to
To
get some of
use a
that PC
mouse.
audience?
Yeah,
No way.
that's
No
what I'm
way. Do
thinking.
you
That's what
reckon?
I'm thinking. Yeah, I think Call of
Seb,
Duty.
throw your PC in the bin, Seb. We're
You can
coming
have
over. You're
have
coming
your
to the
left
dark
Joy-Con in
side.
your hand and use it. I know you can't use keys, but you can use the left Joy-Con. The other one you can use as a mouse on your mouse mat. I tell you, that's what I'm thinking because that's coming
Oh.
over Call of Duty.
So you're telling me I could be gaming on a Switch while using a mouse on the other Joy-Con? I could be Skyping
Yeah,
Pasta or Stingray,
yeah.
talking to the Ray himself, sharing my screen. Oh, the future is here. The future is now.
And I think also, I think for Nintendo's point of view, when we had the original Switch, the gimmick was taking the Joy Cons off, putting the Joy Cons in, and then undocking and docking and putting it straight in your telly, which is good. Which we'll have again, and it's brilliant. And I love that idea. I think it's fantastic. I've loved my Switch, but they needed that little bit extra. You can't rinse and repeat. You need to offer something again. So that's why they've gone down that mouse route. They're not only a Joy-Con, they're a mouse. It does get me a little bit worried if they are Hall effect and they are a mouse. This is all, by the way, listeners and viewers, this is all our theory. This is not all
Yeah, yeah.
set in stone. But how much are these Joy Cons going to be?
Ah, yes. It could be
That's
a
there could be some
yes.
tech
Do
in
you
them.
know what? I hadn't even thought of that. That could
But
be triple the price.
if they take the HD Rumble out, which no one really sends to use anymore, you could save a bit of money there to then carry over. But we'll see. We'll see what the
Right.
prices of those.
Oh, GT, why you've mentioned that, I think you're spot on. I'm sure you know Switch Up,
Yes,
big
yes,
YouTube channel in the UK. They're
yeah,
really good. They do videos daily. They're really good for gaming release news.
yeah,
So I
brilliant.
watched a video of theirs on my commute home today because they mentioned about the Switch and they mentioned the things that all the rumors and stuff like that. But they mentioned about the HD Rumble as well, and they think that that could be taken out because I don't know if you noticed. Apparently, I didn't notice it, but at the end of the video of the trailer, it said some. games will not be
Yes,
compatible and it will be
exactly.
revealed
Yeah,
later. So, what are some games that it's just a minor little disclaimer? So, it would be something that is old hat with the old system that wouldn't be carried over. So, removing that
it'd
rumble
be
effect, which
yeah.
doesn't get used, makes sense.
It could be like them 1-2 switch games, something like that.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Or they could be going down the line of some licenses are ran out. But I would imagine it is more. I reckon the HD Rumble's gone. I reckon
Yeah.
that's gone, and I reckon so. Them games aren't going to be compatible. Which, if it is, that's not many, is it? That's not many. So it's not a massive library. You're losing out of that. Um, but the actual system itself, what did you notice on the actual back of the system itself?
Well, that stand, I feel like it felt too familiar. I was kind of wish it was different, to be honest, because it was on the. I saw so many 3D printed leaked models, and
Yeah,
it's exactly like it. I was like,
yeah.
oh, come on, guys.
It's just like
I wasn't
a more
expecting.
hollowed
Yeah,
out OLED stand, isn't it? But it's
yeah, which is great, really. For I didn't mind the little stand that it came with. I always use that on a train or plane
mm,
or hotel.
yeah,
I didn't have a problem with that little tiny kickstand, but this is a more solid, durable stand. But then again, if the Switch is 30% bigger in size or whatever it is, and it's a lot heavier, then it's probably going to need a more sturdier
mm. Oh,
stand. Let's be honest.
going back to Joy Cons, what I did notice was the I'm not sure about the analogs so much, but the buttons did look bigger. I know
Yes,
it's a bigger Joy-Con, but they did look bigger, which I'm not so much bigger, but they look closer together, which would suggest they're bigger, which I've got no problem with that at all because we've got quite big hands, so the buttons are quite small. You don't notice it too much, but if they can get them ergonomics up a little bit more, um, that's definitely going to benefit the system. But I also noticed two USBs Cs as well, two
yes.
USB
One at the
Cs.
top. Yeah, got a USB-C port. So we've got this one at the bottom, one at the top, which is quite handy, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, for charging and using. So multiple purpose, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Um,
what I normally do on my holiday, I've got one of those little Hori stands. I've got a little Zelda Hori stand, only about 11, £12. And then they lift the screen up so you can charge underneath with your cable. But obviously
yeah,
that's not always a good if you're going just on a train, you don't have to take a stand and the switch as well, do you? You want as little to carry as possible. So having
sure.
that USB on the top, it's a minor improvement, but it actually it's a big one, really. If you want to play with your screen on the table in front of you on a trip, it's perfect. You can charge at the same time. You ain't, got
Yeah.
to lay it flat. So yeah, that's a nice little addition, I thought.
We don't know if the screen's gonna. Obviously, we're assuming it's not going to be OLED, but we don't even know if it's going to support 4K. But I'm assuming it would do because the new iPhone does. So if it didn't, it would be outrageous.
Yeah, I think the rumours were what they've done. It's a bit of pseudo 4K. I think it's a bit like a PS4 Pro. Technically, it's not 4K, but I think it's got processors that upscale it to 4K, which is
Right.
I think it's their own, or they've got someone. I don't know who's doing the chips now. Is it AMD or is it Nvidia or someone? But
I heard it's called NVIDIA.
Nvidia,
NVIDIA is a
yeah, yeah.
powered chip. So I heard that's yeah, I heard that's who's doing the
I mean,
chips,
that's
which is
got
meant to be very.
the screen itself. Not sure the dock out to the TV. It's got to be 4K, and it's got surely this time round it's got to be 4K.
It's got to be. If not, Seb's going to have me over a barrel. So I hope so.
Yeah, I think it's got to be 4K. Um, we also saw, I think some people sort of missed it. They said at the end, obviously, we done the backwards compatible. We said some games are not going to be compatible, but they did show a Mario Kart playing on the screen.
Yeah,
Now,
it's hard to know if it's a standalone game or
or to
more bloody tracks.
yeah, well, when I looked, I'm sure when I looked in the background, it looked as though there was more characters racing. Now, I might be wrong. It looked like there was more than what you'd normally have in a race. So
Yeah.
whether there's what are we up to now? Would it be nine, Mario Kart 9? I would presume. Yes, it's got to
Do
be
you know what would
nine.
be cool? Like a Mario Kart 99 knockout. You know, like Tetris and Pac-Man and F-Zero. If you could have like
Oh,
100 players and then every lap 10 get eliminated. Imagine that.
that's good because I mean I love that Tetris effect. I got that first when I first got my Switch Lite, and I thought, oh, this is a gimmick. 3 hours later and about 8 beers, I'm like, I've got to get down to number
Yeah.
one. I've got to get down to number one. Really addictive, brilliant. That's a way of adding a new edge to an old IP, definitely. Yeah, that's a great idea. That would be brilliant. But yeah, I found that quite interesting. And you always, if you notice, I mean, a lot of these companies do it, but Nintendo more than anyone, you've always got to look at these clips 3 or 4 times and look in the background.
Oh yeah.
They're
The
like
hidden meaning. There's an Easter egg in there. Yeah.
having a Joy-Con shoot across the table
Yeah. Exactly.
with the little leash you put round as the tail and run along like two
Yeah, because
mice.
they could have just said it's a mouse, but they
Yeah, but
don't.
no,
They
they
let
like
your
teasing you.
imagination run wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. But um, other than that, I think, what do you think will be the first games out for this? What do you think they're going to
Well,
release for this?
well, all I've heard so far is a Mario Kart in some respect. Apparently, Assassin's Creed Barrage, which will be on both. Yeah, Assassin's Creed game there was a Metroid Prime 4 apparently for Switch 1 and 2, plus a new 3D Mario game is what's been rumored, a standalone to help launch the console. That's everything I heard, but I did hear something about Final Fantasy remake, Final Fantasy 7. I thought we
Yeah, I
thought, oh,
heard
I
something
suppose
about.
that's yeah.
I heard that was coming over.
I guess that's just to prove I can keep up with the big boys, I guess.
I think so, and also, I mean, going back to this, obviously, you've got, if for those of you that haven't seen it yet, you more likely have, but if you haven't, they've got the card slot in, so your original Switch games can play.
That's the best news. Let's be honest. That was the
Oh,
most biggest relief. Is
yes,
that yes? Because there was always. I mean, I joked about it. I said at the end of a video I done yesterday on YouTube, I joked and said we don't know if it's going to support physical games. Imagine if the Switch 2 was full eShop. And as I said it as a joke, I thought,
oof,
Christ, this could be a possibility. And I
yeah.
was a bit worried. So that was such a relief, to be honest, to have it confirmed.
Well, that
But
brings up two other questions for me: is um, backwards compatible. Is it then going to be a bit of a PS4 Pro? So when you put your old games in, it's going to upscale them to 4K. Is it going to be better visuals on them old games, or will they just run as an HD?
if I was Nintendo, work for Nintendo, I would not upscale it in any means because that would just slow down people buying it. You'd want them to see this way it looks. If anything, you want it playing worse. You want to put in your new Switch 2 game that you get with a console and go, Christ, look at the graphics. Then put your current game that you're playing into the Switch 2 and go, ah, that looks not as good as I
I
remember.
suppose so, but then on the other hand, if people aren't getting them upscaled, they're going to say, "Well, as there aren't many games out for the Switch 2 now, why should I buy it?" But the library I've
Good
got could be
shout. Good
upscaled,
shout.
so
Yeah,
it's a fine
that's a
line.
good
That
shout. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, you're right.
so that'd be interesting. And also going forward, then, so I take it these Switch 2 games are going to be on a similar cartridge, just with a bigger. I mean, what was the biggest they done this time? 32 gigabyte cartridge was it for the games like Tears of the Kingdom? I think they came on a 32. Or was it even bigger than that? I can't remember, to be
Don't know.
honest.
Well, I think the original Switch Mark One that came out was only 32 or 64 gigs. That means you can't get more than one game on there. But I remember it
I know, but I mean the
sometimes early
actual
doors you had,
I mean the cartridges
yeah,
themselves, what they held on them.
oh, what
I
they
th-
can hold.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, I would imagine that. I mean, because to be fair, I mean, I know people say the Switch is underpowered, but when you think of the games that have actually put on them tiny cartridges, that's quite impressive. To be fair,
Yeah, well, I heard in terms of the actual game cartridges, I heard it's going to be. I don't know the technicalities of this, but I heard it was going to be a micro express, um, well, a express SD memory card for faster loader times. Was a note that I made to myself. A lot of people thought it was going to help with loading times. I don't know how that would work
I suppose it's a
with the
bit.
actual
Yeah, I
cartridge.
suppose it's a bit similar with. Obviously, if you've got a PC or especially with PS5, you get these SSDs you pop in as your memory, and obviously, the quicker they are, the quicker they run. The more storage, the better. And it's a bit like, well, even our own UCP George, he put a SSD in his PS3 rather than an HDD, which didn't necessarily make the games look better, but it made them um, pop in the backgrounds a lot quicker. You had a lot less pop in and bits and pieces because it was running that bit quicker. So whether they've got these new memory cards plus the cartridges working together, so you get a premium experience. I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting. I mean,
I hope on the go on. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say for launch games. I heard someone say, "Oh, there's going to be a new big open world Zelda." Well, they've only just done Tears of the Kingdom. I can't see that they've made another
Too
new
soon.
too soon.
Nah, too
So I
soon.
would imagine
Yeah.
if there's going to be a Zelda, they've gone and probably either remastered or done an older version to chuck on there, maybe an Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask or something like that, touched up and chucked on as a Switch 2 exclusive or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
the direct for April 2nd, I think the release date, from what I hear, they will announce at the beginning of April that it will be released, we reckon, in the summer, like July sort of time. It's from what I've been hearing from people
I heard July.
in the,
Yeah,
yeah, in the industry. So if that is the case, it's genius, really, because you've got a nice 5 to 6 months running time before Christmas, and that is enough time to get a good solid half a dozen launch games, and
yeah,
then a couple of big titles each month, and then it allows third-party developers to see what the
yeah.
system can do, tweak a few games, and they can have a big smash up to Christmas.
And also at Christmas, I tell you
So
what, that
yeah,
if it's going well, then what will they do at Christmas? Special edition packing.
I'm hoping we get a some sort of VR thing announced because then I can fully pull George away from the PlayStation. He's already enjoying himself on the go. Um, so yeah, I'd just love it if we could have something like that, something to incorporate. VR would be cool just to see someone else try and do it because it hasn't quite taken off, has it? I know Oculus and
I
stuff does
well,
its own thing.
I love my PSVR one. I haven't got PSVR two. Big failure for me. PSVR one was a big plus for me. I thought it was brilliant. They sold 4 times the amount they expected to sell. It was supported fairly well up to about halfway through its life. Really good games. It was a great experience. But I think also if the Switch 2 is as powerful as what they're saying it's going to be, similar to a PS4, um, PS4 ran VR. There's no reason why the system can't. And then you could imagine not a VR world Mario where you're looking all round like a bit like an Astro Bot. I mean, that would be
Oh wow,
phenomenal.
yeah.
That'd be phenomenal. But I mean, a lot of this is ifs and buts, and this is what we think it's going to be.
Even the memory, we don't. I mean,
Mm,
like I sort of touched it briefly earlier. I think we originally had 32 or 64 gig, and you had to instantly get. I brought a memory card early doors,
mm.
and
Yeah, me
Christ, you
too.
needed it. So, I mean, we need 100, even 128 is probably laughable these days because the games will be bigger. So, there's rumours of 256 at the off, and then obviously there's such large cards you can add in anyway for storage now. Um,
That's got to be 250 minimum inbuilt, and
yeah,
then
two
and
five
then
six. I would have
you
thought.
can get one
Yeah.
terabytes now, can't you? Quite easily for
You
a piece
can,
of
yeah,
pod
you can.
and
I mean,
chuck
I
it in.
brought mine early doors, and I think I got quite a small. I should have got a bigger card, but I didn't look at how to swap it over. I'm so lazy, RGT. When you talked about the OLED, this will make you laugh. I brought the Pokemon OLED because I thought, wow, that is a cool piece. That's like collectors like me and you are. I
Yeah.
thought that's one to have for the future. It's in the shelf behind me, right? I opened it up, so like an idiot, broke the seal, looked at it, and thought, oh, I've got to transfer all my data over. So I've never actually used my OLED. I've had it for years, just sitting on the shelf. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to look how to change my account. So I'm still using my original Pokemon Mark I Switch or whatever it is, or Mark II. So yeah.
That's quite easy when you do it. You log into your account on the Switch, then change that one to your primary Switch. That's quite easy to do.
Can't teach
It's
an old gamer new tricks.
I'll tell you
That's
what,
the problem.
that's another thing for a Switch 2 as well. This is what infuriates me about the Switch the most, and I hope they knock this on the head. If you've got multiple switches on one account, you'll know the problem with this. Like for instance, I've got my OLED, which is my primary switch, was listed on my account. My wife has got a Switch Lite, which is her account. But then for Christmas, she bought me very kindly bought me the Hyrule Edition Switch Lite, the gold one, which I've pimped up for a few little bits and pieces and made it look nice. Now I thought, oh, that'd be nice to take on trips and leave me OLED at home. But no, you can't because you can add that to your account, but you can only play that Switch on Wi-Fi. You cannot play it offline. And I think, hang on, you're taking the whole point of a Switch away by not having it. You should have like up to three on one account you can all use on the
Yeah.
go. So I'm hoping they change that a bit with the Switch
I
2.
think we're going to see, yeah, software, obviously, we haven't spoke about, and we won't know. No one's going to have a clue on rumors. You would never, this isn't a hardware where someone can get a glimpse of it or accidentally show something. in the background of a video. Software is not going to get leaked, I don't think. So the actual interface of how it will look on a dashboard and what you can do in terms of online and what features will be more improved. All we can just do is hope whatever it is, whoever's listening or watching this, whatever it is you want to be in, hopefully they're included it. I mean, I quite like the Switch dashboard in comparison to Xbox and PlayStation. I actually prefer it, to be honest, but that might be because it's the
It's
norm to me.
very
I use it more.
it's actually very similar to a PS4, PS5 dashboard. Your games are lined up, you flip through, see what you
Yeah,
played. It's quite similar. I'm with you on that.
most recent. Yeah,
I like the dashboard. I think it's very serviceable. It's good. It looks on the OLED. It's nice and bright when you're out and about. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I can't. The only thing they do need to change, Joe, and I think we're going to have to agree on this, is the eShop. I mean, that's running on dial-up. I mean, come on, we need that eShop.
do you know what, RGT? I thought that was me, and I had obviously, like I said for the show, I've had a few times on the podcast where I've dipped in and out, and because of that, I've got new improved internet, and I've noticed that it hasn't made a difference to the
No,
eShop. So is it nothing?
it's
Is it
just
the same for
a
everyone?
yeah, it's their servers they run it on.
All you
That's
hear
it.
is that duh, 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 duh. You can
Yeah.
literally hear it dialing up.
Oh, it's literally like signing up to AOL in 1999. You just got to hope no one dials the phone because then it cuts you off. It's that bad. You just think, come on, we need an e-shop. We need it clicky smooth. Come on, get
I
that
thought it
going
was
now.
me, the internet on Pasta's farm. I mean, you guys are up in space. I thought the reason why you went up there was to tweet with a Nintendo satellite up there.
And now
Get.
we've got our Elon Musk's Starlink. We're just towing off the back of that, so we're all right. But yeah, it needs doing that e-shop. But I think, but overall, bringing this section to a close, am I excited? Yes, I am. I like the
I
look of
am.
it. I
Yeah.
love that sort of graphite grey black colour. I think it looks very. You can see where they're heading with this look of a Steam Deck, this more grown up looking handheld. Um, yeah, I really liked it. I think it looked good.
Yeah.
I like the bigger screen. I like the bigger Joy Cons. If on top of that it's 4K, on top of that it upscales your old Switch games. I'm going to be all over this. I think, Scott. I'm pre-ordering day one. If I could get a pre-order,
Same, mate. I'm gonna be.
I'm
Yeah,
all
yeah.
over this. I'm very excited for it, and I can't wait. So, what's your final thoughts on this clip then?
Um, I mean, I just want to. I enjoy talking about it with everyone, and I think I'll be talking about it until April 2nd. So I'd love to hear from anyone's listening. Jump in a Discord. Let us know what you want to hear to be announced.
Good shout.
But I mean, from what I pick up, just to summarize, so what do we know so far? We know that we're going to have a bigger screen. So we're going to be going up quite a substantial amount to 8 inches. The actual device itself is going to be bigger. Joy-Con's going to be bigger. New improved Joy-Cons. There's going to be a magnet. We believe that to enable act as a mouse to play some of those point and click cursor games. Like RGT said, could be for pro gamers and esport gamers playing things like Call of Duty. So we could get Call of Duty on a Switch. What a huge deal that would be. So it's really, really exciting. And I do want to jump on it from day one. I just April 2nd couldn't come around quick enough because
Mm,
as soon as we finish recording, I'm going to just keep watching and repeat that video over and over again, that trailer. I wish they told us a bit more, but then it's kind of good because less is more. I'm excited. It's given me, all it's done is confirm a little bit about what we know, like
yeah,
20% of the rumors. So very, very clever of them. I just want to know more. I really do. I want to know more. I want to know what the game's going to be. I want to know what else it can do. I just hope I hope there's some sort of feature to like put your date of birth in. There's no children. I haven't got kids. There's no children in our household unless there's family over, nieces and nephews. But it'd be good to be able to put your date of birth in, and then you can not have any restrictions online. So rather than have to be game with friends, you could just play with anyone with some of them more sort of, I say
yeah,
adult themed games. I
yeah,
mean just anything that's over 18. If I'm playing Dead by Daylight, Friday the 13th, like a big online server game. You have the most fun with those if you can talk voice chat on mic and stuff. I just hope they sort that out because I've got so many friends who play on PlayStation, Xbox. They won't come over to Nintendo because that bit seems a bit childish. They're like, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. So I
mm,
hope they sort the interface out because no reason why they can't do both. If you
no,
want provisional lock, parental lock,
mm,
that's fine. You can have it some sort of thing enabled on there, and I know you
definitely,
can get now a QR code as your friend code, so it's easier to share and stuff like that. Your gamer tag, but yeah, I mean, but we only know a little bit about the hardware. We don't know what the actual system can do, its memory, how powerful it
yeah.
is. we haven't seen enough from game footage trailer. Like we haven't seen any realistic game trailer of what the machine really can do. So it leaves a hell of a lot to the imagination. And let's just wait for April 2nd to come around and hopefully that will confirm it will be coming out in the summer. So start saving those pennies. How much do you think it's going to be, RGT?
Um, I heard rumours $400.
What was it
Um,
before? 299.
I believe so. Yeah, I think it was 299 the Switch, wasn't it?
I reckon
Roughly.
they can squeeze four. I would have thought 449. I thought they
I
could even squeeze 499 because of the Joy Cons. Unless they do, I'll be annoyed if Joy Cons are sold. No, they can't sell them separately because it's a handheld device. They can't, can they?
no, no. I think 449 is about where the money is. I think if you're aiming for 499, you're creeping scarily close to Steam Decks and bits and pieces. You've got to be, even you can pick up, you know, PS5 now for 350, whatever it is. So I think you've got to be a little bit careful. But I think 449. I think you'll hit the nail on the head there. I think that's where that's going to be floating around about that price. Um, would I, it sounds a lot of money, but then when you've got I know it's a different system. I know before everyone goes mad in the comments, but PS5 Pro, 700 without disk drive. I mean, you're 800-900 in the hole if you want to buy a PS5 Pro. So 450.
Up to 500 is reasonable. Any in this day and
Yeah, I'd
age,
pay. I'd
let's
pay.
be honest.
Yeah,
You got to pay 500 quid for a half decent telly. You got to pay 500 quid for a half decent laptop. You got to pay 500 quid for a half decent phone. So if you want to pay for a very good modern console, you're going to be looking at paying 500 quid. I think it's a no-brainer, really. You can't
yeah.
complain with it. It
No,
can't be 200 quid. That'd be ridiculous because that's the price of two games,
exactly.
almost. You know.
So no, I think you're about right there. If it's just under 500, around about 450, 500, I'm happy with that.
I wonder how
Um,
different the docks will be themselves. Assuming the old
well,
docks won't be. Yeah, it'd be interesting
I
to
saw one of the
what will
guys
change
on
with them.
one of the guys on Nintendo Live saying, "Oh, we found it interesting because the screen peered out over the dock a bit." Well, my OLED does as well, so I don't quite know what he meant by that because my OLED,
No, I think even my normal Switch does,
yeah,
to be honest.
that's just
Yeah.
literally when you pop it in, that shows you can see the battery on it, so you can see where
Yeah,
the
of
battery.
course.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
quite know where he's going that, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, they shoot it, didn't they, with Switch 2 on it, and um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I think I'm looking forward to that. I think we might have to move on to our
I think we've
subscriber
wrapped it all
soon.
up. Yeah, I think that's everything we've covered.
Um,
So
Basically, if you're interested, if this is the first time you're listening to this show, if you've enjoyed it, if you think, oh, that RGT, that Scott, they like their Switch, it's quite interesting. If you're a Nintendo fan, Xbox fan, PlayStation fan, retro fan, come on our Discord, come and have a listen. If you liked it even more, we do our little subscriber list. So we have tiers for that. Basically, when you listen to our podcast on your podcast provider of choice, you can link down, support the show, as called. The show will always be free. Don't get us wrong, but obviously in this modern day and age of expensive things, and a podcast is quite expensive to run, so every little helps. It keeps the lights on at UCP Towers, and basically our tiers are $3 a month is you get read out on every show, which you will hear in a moment. $5 you are read out on every show, and you get yearly art merch, which basically means we're like a band, so every year we do it like a new album. So we refresh our artwork. If you're $5 and above, we'll send you a little bit of merch, whether that be your fridge magnet, whether that be a poster, whether that be a bit of wall art, whether that be a mug, whether it be a pen. You'll get it for a $5 and above. $8 read out in every show, yearly art merch, plus access to the unglorious chat. So in our Discord, there is various different channels. If we spoke about challenge accepted, there's my hidden gems on there. There's literally anything from culinary delights, what you've been eating, holidays, what movies you've watched, music. We chat about everything on there. But there's also one called Unglorious Chat. So it's basically for the $8 and above people. They have a little chat in there. They can come and chat to us, have a chat, talk about the shows, talk about anything they want. So that's just that little extra private area for them. $10 is read out on every show, yearly art merch, plus access to the Unglorious Chat, plus quarterly Zoom chat with hosts. We've done two, I think, or three of these. I think it's two so far, which I have hosted. But we will switch up this year. Hey, switch up. We'll switch up with these this year. The different hosts. Basically, I just do a Zoom call. You jump on that Zoom
Mm.
call. We normally do between an hour, 2 hours. Um, we record them and trying to put them on YouTube. We didn't the last one because we had a bit of an accident with a hard drive, which meant it disappeared. But we will record them and pop them on YouTube. If you don't mind being on YouTube or you'd like to be on YouTube, you'll be on our video. And basically, what we do in this Zoom chat, we just nerd out. We talk games, we talk
Mm.
films. You can show us your pickups, anything you've got, bring them along, pop them on the screen. We'll all have a good chat. We're all gamers, we're all nerds, and we absolutely love it. So that is your $10 tier. Now,
RGT, do you mind if I share an exclusive invitation to our listeners?
no, not at all.
Because just speaking of Discord and community, so this coming Friday, the 24th, so it might be next Friday, depending how quick we get this show out. So on Friday the 24th, so next Friday coming, I'm actually going to be doing a sort of marathon gaming community night with
Mm.
some people from my Discord channel. So we're going to be playing a few games, so it is going to be open to anyone who's listening to this, and I will put that across as well to everyone in the UCP. So if anyone wants to come on, we're probably going to play potentially a lot of Fall Guys, or maybe a bit of Among Us, a bit of Mario Kart, something that we can all play online together. So if anyone is listening to the show, you're first, not if you're just first time listener, maybe you're a silent listener and you haven't jumped in or got involved, you want to see what it's all about. It's a good time to jump in the Discord because we're going to have a nice potential, a few of us joining in a little community night on this coming Friday. So if you guys are free, put it in your diary on Friday evening UK time, maybe 6, 7 o'clock. We'll be online for a few hours and hopefully have a few games and a bit
Mm-mm-mm.
of a laugh. So if
Sounds
anyone is free,
fantastic.
see you there.
And don't forget, if you enjoy the show and you enjoy Scott's passion for the Switch, well, check him out on Marathon Gaming on YouTube. Fantastic channel. That's how we first met, for me subscribing to his channel. And yeah, it's mostly Switch, but there's other games as well. There's a bit of retro. You collect Game Gear, you got Game Boy Color on the go at the moment. So if you like a bit of retro, you like
Yeah, a
Switch,
lot of
is a
game gear. Oh,
yeah. And also Scott, he's got his own Marathon Gaming YouTube Discord. So jump in there too. We all chat between all the different ones between us. So it's great fun. Anyway, we'll get to our subscriber list now. And I will start with the first one, which unfortunately I have to read, which is Carlos, the One Man George Fan Club. No, it's just only one, but anyway. Then we
and
got
then we
next,
have Firm Returns.
amazing. And we've got Trestles of New York. Thank you very much again. A long time listeners to the show.
A man who is very local to me. I need to arrange to meet up with him. That is Badabinkster, but it's actually spelled Bababinkster in front of me. Have I been saying it wrong all this time, or is that a spelling error?
That's me typing too quick. That's my
Oh
sausage.
my God.
That's my sausage
I
thumbs.
thought I feel bad. I was going to say I speak to him most days on a Discord. I thought I've been calling him the wrong name, but yeah, big shout
No,
out to
that's me
Badabinkster.
sausage thumbs when I was texting
He's
that.
our Italian friend, so we have to say Badabinkster.
Oh, legend. I've met up with him a few times now. He's such a great guy, passionate about his game. And we met up. We had a little mini UCP meet up, which is another thing we do quite regularly. We had one in Norwich a few weeks ago. It was great. I went up on the train. I was actually on the train playing Rush Rally Origins on me on me Switch.
Oh,
But
shit.
yeah, great guy, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's a great lad. Then we've got Tingle Tuner.
Then we have got Digital Monkery, who is the man behind the infamous Challenge Accepted, where we are playing Fall Guys currently. So big shout out to Tom, Digital
Yeah,
Monkery.
great guy. Yeah, absolute legend of the show. And as for people like that, you couldn't get the show out each week because it's nice to have all these challenges and that. But when you're trying to put a show on and do that, you just can't do it. So to have
Yeah,
these people, to have
appreciate
passionate,
the help.
yeah,
Yeah.
passionate volunteers like this. Also, check out Digital Monkery's YouTube channel. He's a big collector, got an amazing collection. Check him out on YouTube.
Oh, he
Give him a
loves
sub.
his Mega Drive at the minute. If you're into Sega Mega Drive, head over to Digital Monkery on YouTube for
Yeah, it's
sure.
amazing collection. Next up, we have Rose Space Monk.
Then we have the Gaming Gram.
Then we've got Bald Border,
Then we have got Bulba.
your community manager and Discord manager. Fantastic guy. And
Skip
same
the next
again,
one out.
if it weren't for him. Oh, who's this on here? Marathon
We'll skip that
Gaming.
one out.
Someone's
We'll
using
go
your name.
straight. Yeah, we'll go straight to Sealmaster Elliot, who has been showing and showcasing a lot of stuff. He's been
He's been getting rid of some bits. I've bought a few
giving
bits off
away
him,
a lot
bless
of
him.
big
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, I
some
bought a few bits
strategic
off him.
guides, Blu-rays, DVDs, games.
Yeah, he's having a bit of a
He's having
clear
a
out, I
good old
think.
clear out. He is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then we've got the absolute legend. I don't know how many times he's won challenge accepted, but he is an absolute game and maestro. He's Ginge. And by the way, he's now on 600 and what is he 600 well over 600 platinums he's got on the PlayStation, which is phenomenal. Absolute gaming legend is Ginge.
And then we have got Harvey Retro.
Fantastic. Check out his YouTube channel. That's brilliant. If you like watching, he's been doing lately on Enigmatic Productions. He's been doing looking through the old catalogues from the 80s and scrolling through.
Oh, it's so
Oh, me
nostalgic,
and the
and it
missus
really
love
is.
him. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, Edward. Then we've got Emma Sharp.
I'm starting to run out of things I can keep this up with. Right, so you could walk 500,000 miles and you'll still be lost. You won't know where to go. You'd open your window in your car and you'd go, "Excuse me, sir, can I have directions?" And they go, "Where do you want directions to?" And you'd say, "Anywhere, just nowhere near Berlin," because you don't know where it is.
Hey,
Big
boom, boom,
shout
boom.
out to Nowhere Near Berlin. That's getting harder each week. It really is.
Then we've got Mumsy.
And then, oh, you had to let me say this, you vain
Oh
man.
yes.
This is the RGT fan club. Give me an R. Give me a
Oh,
G.
G
Give me a T. It's
T.
the RGT fan club.
Yeah, that's how we do
Baby.
it. The only fan club. Then we've got Pete Brocklehurst. Thank you, Pete.
Then we have got my good friend Billy Marmite. Thank you to Billy.
Yeah,
Awesome.
legend. And then my good friend Simon Pryke.
Oh, we can't be leaving this one to me. Is it my first time?
This is
Is it
this
my
is your
first time
first
saying
time.
it?
Now, before we do this, our next or last
Oh,
subscriber we've got here, we're contractually obliged to do it to say his name in a passionate way, and this is this is now going to be Scott's Zangief cherry gone. So away you go,
oh,
Scott.
okay, hold on. Let me get the baby oil. Pasta, can you bring over not that, put the candle down, not the jam. Pull yourself out of that. That's it. Put that that's it. Lube me up. Real nice. That's it. I want to be slim. I want to be streamlined. Okay, let's get into the zone. Big shout out to the one and only Fat Zangief. Oh, oh,
Wow,
oh.
I think you might just took the number one spot then. I
I
mean,
enjoyed that a little bit too much.
I'm gonna
Thank you to Fat Zangief
I
for
might be
just
having
letting
that
me
on
do that.
playback later.
A message tone on the bus on loud.
Yeah, thinking your earpods are connected. Um, but no, thanks to all those guys. And we joke, we have a laugh, but no, seriously, brilliant. Without you guys, well, the show wouldn't happen at the moment. As we say, it keeps the lights on, it keeps the tech coming in, it gets the bills paid. Absolutely brilliant, and it keeps us doing what we love, which is this show. So all we can say is thank you all very much. And like I said before, you don't have to be a subscriber. Just listen. Come and listen to us. Follow us. Like us on Instagram. Like us on Twitter. Anything you want. Just come and listen. Come in the Discord. Come and have a chat. And it's all good. We're all gamers. Let's all just have fun. That's what life's about, isn't it?
That's it. And guys, if you can do us a favour, if you are a long listener of this show and you listen on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you do listen to it, even if you do not listen or watch via YouTube, if you have a YouTube account, head over to YouTube, type in the Unofficial Controller podcast, and hit subscribe because it would help us. So
Mm,
if anyone can go over, share any of our videos, I would strongly, if you can watch one video, just one video a month, I would say watch the Ponzi's because we had a good laugh.
yeah, that was
But
a
yeah,
good
even
laugh.
if you, I mean, if you've got YouTube premium account like I have, it's actually awesome because you could even lock your phone and it will still play YouTube. So yeah, if you
Oh,
can give us a
phenomenal.
little follow, yeah, if you can give us a little follow subscription on YouTube to Unofficial Controller Podcast, it will help massively. But yeah, thanks to everyone who has listened so far, everyone who listened in 2024, and whoever is continuing listening in 2025 and watching with us. You
Yep.
guys are awesome.
Yep. Thank you all very much. And I just think that leaves us to say, what are you hoping to play this week, Ed Scott?
Well, I'm hoping to. I know I'm going to be playing some more Mafia
Mather?
Definitive
I
Edition.
thought,
I
what's
took a
Mather?
letter out. I haven't got time for the A to the end, RGT. I haven't got time. The Switch 2's coming out.
Bit of
Some
math.
more Mafia Definitive Edition. So we're playing a bit more of that. I'm going to be playing some Fall Guys, joining with Challenge Accepted. I've got a friend coming over, so we're gonna be playing the new. I only got one Switch game for Christmas, and that was the Mario Party. Um, I can't even say it. Jamboree.
Yeah,
It's a new
is it
Mario Party
Jamboree? I
game
think, yeah.
based. It's a strange word. There's a new Mario Party game basically on a Switch, which is a third one for the system. I love all the Mario Party games, but they're
God,
very
they are
fun with
great fun.
a friend. I'm a big board game and tabletop game nerd, so um, what I love about Mario Party it incorporates mini games with a board game. So yeah, we're going to play that together, which would be really really cool. Um, that's probably it until I complete Mafia, and I'll probably be on the show next week talking about that and what I'm going to play after that. So that's probably a bit of me. What
Mm.
about you, RGT? What do you hope to play?
What try and get Trine 5 done. Hit that on the head, get it done. Bit more
You're
pretty
spinning
much.
too many plates, RGT. You
I
really are.
am. That's what I mean. I need to go back to Trine 5, get that done. Sandown needs to be done. I mean, I got distracted Rush Rally Origins, Life on Mars, Crew, but definitely more Fall Guys. I want to try and get another crane because I feel there's going to be a little rush of people getting cranes towards the end of the month, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to be there for long at the top of the tree. So try and get some more crane, and that's great fun playing that. It's easy to pick up. Quick 10 minutes on Fall Guys, see if you can get cranes. That'll be good fun. But yeah, pretty much finished Trine 5 and all them other bits I've been playing and just get stuck into one, I think, and go from there. But I think that is pretty much me, Scott.
That's it. So thanks to everyone again. We are the unofficial controller podcast. And just remember, it doesn't matter if you're given the unofficial controller, it's what you do with it that matters. Thanks very
Oh,
much. See you soon.
beautiful. Laters.
Bye.